Test, test. Hello, everyone. All right, so sorry about that. All right, everybody ready? Yeah? All right, if you're watching online, I'm sorry about that. We had a little problem. I had to take care of it. All right. Can everybody say hallelujah? All right, now we're here. So we're reading in Genesis chapter 2, verse 15 and 16, and 18 to 20. And I'm going to read it again for you, verse 15. It says, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden. And God didn't tell the man to eat until he told him to work first. Work come first before eat. So a man need to work if the man wants to eat. Hallelujah. A man has to work. It's the work first. God give the man a plan and a vision before the man can eat. And now verse 18 says, the Lord God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. And we ask if you have your pen and paper, write helper and suitable. So after God give the man a vision, and the man has a plan, he knows the field that he's in, and God tell the man, this is what you're going to eat from. And after everything is okay now, then God said the man cannot be alone. So in other words, before a man can even have a woman, you have to have some type of plan first. There has to be some type of guideline of what you're going to do with your life first. If you don't know what you're going to do with your life, how can you get someone on the boat with you? It's like you're going somewhere, and you get in the car, you're going somewhere, and then you're asking people to go with you, yet you don't know where you're going. Think about it. You know the chaos that can cause when someone get in that car with you? Because you don't know where you're going. You're just turning in the streets, you keep driving, and now when they ask you questions you don't know, you're frustrated. The frustration that comes with someone without a plan. I put a few things together for you based on the verse we just read. Like I said, we're not going to read too many verses, just probably just that verse. Let me finish with the verse at verse 19. Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. 20. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found. There goes that word again, suitable helper was found for Adam. So I put a few things together. Number one, work. You can write this down. A man needs to, number one, work. Number two, have a career, not a job. He has to have a career. That's what the garden means, symbolize. That's where he's going to be, in that field. As you can see, even when God took Adam out of the garden, what else was Adam going to do? We're garden again. That's a career. Career means even when you get out of that or doing it here, wherever you go, you're going to keep doing the same thing. A job, you can have different things, you do different type of things. There's no stability in a job, but there's stability in career. Because God called the man to walk the garden. Even when he was kicked out of the garden, he had to go make garden again. That's a career. So, number one, work. Two, man has to take care of himself. Number three, it is not a man that must choose his wife. It is God's job. It's not a man that chooses his wife. Oh. 4, a man must listen to someone or accountable. If a man doesn't have someone he listens to, he's a real problem. Who do you go to tell about this guy if he's giving you a problem? He has to be accountable. There has to be accountability. 5, he has to be responsible. In this verse, this is all things I pick from the verse. And 6, he has to be a leader. God didn't just give Adam, although he said the man shouldn't be alone. After he said men shouldn't be alone, what do you think come next? A woman? No. God tests the man to see, can he lead even the animals? You have to be a leader first to be able to lead. You don't start leading when you have the woman. Some people, they start being a leader when they have a woman. And they end up being a dictator, a boss. They become everything but a leader because they were never trained to be a leader. You have to be a leader first. I want you to write this question down. How do you know a woman is your wife? That's a fair question, right? The other guys, that's a fair question, right? How do you know a woman is your wife? The answer is she has to be suitable for you. She has to be a helper that is suitable for you. So now, since we mentioned the term helper, suitable again, let's go into definition to try to understand the suitable part. Suitable simply means right, appropriate for a particular person or purpose or situation. Suitable simply means acceptable, satisfactory, fit, worthy, decent, correct, competent, capable, able, desirable, preferable. That is the word suitable. So a man is looking for a woman, someone that is suitable, that is acceptable or that is worthy, decent, competent, capable, able. If you're looking for an helper suitable, so it means that there's a side you cannot do. There's something that is missing, and there's things you cannot achieve by yourself. A man is missing without a wife because there's a side of a man that is empty until you have a woman next to you. Believe it or not, A woman is there to make you look good. To make you look good, yeah. Show me a man that dress himself and a woman that dress a man. You'll see the difference. Yeah. When your woman dress you and when you dress your own self. No matter how much knowledge you have, understand how to dress yourself. But when a woman dress you, it's a whole different ball game. Why? Because woman is in details. But men, we are not in details. We just see this thing and it's good and then that's it. Yeah, there's no time for that. So, but women, they are in details. Women see deeper than men, believe it or not. And because men are hunters. We are hunters. We are in search of something. We are looking for something, and that something, until a man finds it, he will never stop. And when I say that something, until the man finds it, he will never stop. And sometime, that one man can go through thousands of women to find that something. And until he finds it, he will never stop. Because men are hunters. And how do you know when the man finds it? That's what I'm here for. We're going to explain this later. Right? So, but women, they feel things. Women's is more about feeling. They want to feel things. They want to feel love. They want to feel acceptable. You know, they want to feel things. I actually teach about the 5 things women wants to feel before. If you know about it, I'm going to mention it to you real quick. Women wants to feel loved. They want to feel understood. They want to feel emotionally secured. And they want to feel listened to. And they want to feel beautiful. That's women. These are the 5 things every woman is looking for. They want to feel loved. They want to feel understood. They want to feel emotionally secured, feel listened to, and feel beautiful. Every woman is looking to feel those 5 things. It's the worst thing you can have to have a woman in the house that feel like you don't understand her. That's the worst thing you can have in the house. When we say women want to feel love, there's a big misunderstanding when people said, I love so-and-so, I love this man, I love this woman, with the term love. People misunderstanding love and the emotions behind love. There's the emotions you have, it's not love. The goosebump feeling, the heart beating, all those senses, it's not love. It's just emotions. It's just emotions sometimes that comes with love. Those emotions can also come without love. But that doesn't mean that it's love. Most people misinterpret what love is. Feeling is not love, period. That's it. If so, a blind person cannot love. Because they cannot see to feel. They cannot see a beautiful woman, so there's no way to love. Love is a compilation of virtue and values. When you take virtue plus value, you put it together, then you're going to find love. I'm going to give you some examples. You can write them down. We have them waiting for you. They're going to be on the screen. Let me share some values before we put some virtues. Some virtues before we share values. Some virtues, for example, excellent, flexibility, forgiveness, friendliness, integrity, joyfulness, justice, kindness, love, loyalty. All those are virtues. When you have those virtues, when someone has all those virtues, plus values, like values, for example, ambition, patience, modesty, justice, courage, cleanliness. When you have virtues and values, that's love. Why you love somebody, it's one of those things, or 2, 3, 4, 5 of them you see in that person that attract you to that person. If it's the face that attracts you, you are in trouble. Because 20 years later, there's something called a wrinkle. Yeah. There's something called a wrinkle. People lose hair. I'm telling you, with time, it's not the same. If it's the eye you like, somehow the eye twisted becomes something different after when people start aging. So if it's the exterior you see first, you're in trouble. So you have to look for values and virtues. That's what should attract you to cause you to love somebody. I'm going to put on the screen for you some of the values. You can write them down. And we put some definition for you as well. So those are the values. When you see those values, when you see these values inside of a person, these are what cause a person to attract to another. I think the easiest way to take a picture of it. So these are what cause you to attract to someone. It's when the person has this type of things in them. A person without the value of being patient, you should run away. If there's no patience in that person, so how are they going to treat you? Because we all full of faults. Everybody has some type of issues that I'm going to need someone to be patient with me with my issues. You understand? So when you find someone that's truly patient with you, that itself, it's partial of love that make you feel attracted to that person because that person is tolerating you. There's tolerance because of patience. You see, love is values and virtues. That's supposed to be your definition of love. When you look at someone, if they say, why do you love them? Why do you love her? Because of this type of virtue, because of this type of value. That's why you should love somebody. If you can point virtue and value in that person, you say, oh, because, she make food for me. Are you looking for a cook? Huh? So you have to really think about it. You're not looking for a cook. Because most people don't truly understand what they are truly looking for. And I'm going to share with you some problems among the women. There's a lot of women, one of the main problems they have in relationship is how they treat certain men. And I'm going to explain that in a few minutes to you. Before we get there, or you can change this more. So you guys can have those. That's very good for you. And if you look in scripture, the Bible express love better. 1 Corinthians, is it 12? Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envy, does not envy, does not what? Does not boast. Love. So scripture explains love very, very well. So wherever there's love, it's the virtue and values together that cause you to see what you see in the person. If you think about it, when you look at someone, what do you truly see? It's virtue and values. So one of the things you can never compromise is your value. Ladies, please write that. I will never compromise my value. Never compromise your value. Because when you compromise your value, people mistreat you. They don't see you for who you're supposed to be anymore. You can never compromise your value. What you stand for it, and that's it. You understand? Someone can do whatever they want to do, but there are things that we call them core values. If you stand for it, you stand for it. For example, let's say one of your values, you want to help people in the nursing area or any type of field. And now you're talking to a man that says, I don't want, I would love for my woman not to work, not to do anything, stay home, just cook, clean, and do things like that. And now you're desperate, you want a man bad enough, and you enter in that relationship. Now you know what happened to you. You just compromise what made you you. By compromise your core value, you lose respect. If someone gonna get you, they have to get the package, you and your virtue and your value. If they don't want you with the package, they don't want you at all. Because they're gonna disrespect you, they're gonna mistreat you. No one has value if you have nothing to bring to the table. Think about it. That's anywhere. Even in school, if we do a group, there's a group study together, and you don't know nothing. Do you think anybody care about you, what you have to say? Nobody gonna look your way. You have nothing to say. But if somebody, they know you know your thing, every eyes are on you. They're waiting to see what you're gonna say. Because they know you have a value. You have something to bring. So in relationship as well, a woman, you have to have something to bring. Remember the word I told you to write down? Suitable what? Helper. So if you're going to be a suitable helper, that's when you have to help in something. You cannot come empty-handed and say you're a helper. Helper what? So a woman, you have to fit into a man's life and to understand where you fit in and where you're going to complete this man. Because you have to complete him. Why? Because man needs a suitable helper. God created man like this with a missing part of him, and he needs a suitable helper. Someone to truly help him. Without that someone, that man can never be anything. He can try. He can try, but there's a side of him something is missing. Because without this help, that type of help, he needs on that side or in that other side that he doesn't understand. He cannot make it far. There are people that would have been very far in life if only they had listened to their wives. If only they had listened to advice from the wife. That's it. But they cannot listen. That's what we call the man ego that is too high. I'm a man, what are you going to tell me? They feel like they know too much, they know more. One thing I find about men, most men, before the man fell in what they were doing, the voice of the wife was there. They just didn't listen. I'm going to say that again for the guys. Any men that fell into doing anything, you'll find that the wife said something, they just didn't listen. Somehow, somewhere, the wife was voicing, was screaming, but nobody was listening. They're going to do it anyway. Because that's men, that's who we are. I mean, we have that ego, we feel like, I got it, I know what I'm doing. And we don't want to listen most of the time because we are men. We are men. But not knowing, God created us a certain way that you're going to need a woman by your side. And that's the reason, women, even when a man don't listen to you, never diminish yourself. Because if you're a suitable helper, who you are cannot devalue until you yourself, you devalue yourself. No one can take value out of a person if you don't discredit your own self. Yeah. You have to discredit yourself. How do you do that? Some women, after they get married, they let go of themselves. Now they let go of themselves in the house. It's 6 p.m. and you still have your sleeping clothes on. Your hair is still nappy in the house. Is that what you want the men to look at every day? You understand? So it's always it's the same pattern every day, and it becomes. Remember, a man as a hunter is looking for something, and you have to be it. You have to be that something he's looking for, because whatever he's looking for is the suitable helper. That's what a man is seeking for. That one person that he feels like that can help him. And for you ladies, if you didn't know that, we only have a big voice. You're smarter than all of us. If you didn't know that, ladies, we have a big voice. We have what we call boldness to walk towards things, to do things. But ladies, you are smarter than us because you do take your time before you do anything. Men don't think. Men do not think. When a man wants something bad enough, he doesn't think. But women process things, take the time. They take the sweet time to process everything, every angle of it. A woman is way smarter than a man. But we use our ego, we use our boldness to make you feel like we are bigger than you, but that's not true. Yes, we are the man. Yes, you submit to us, but doesn't make us smarter than you. Always remember that. That's the reason you don't let your husband make some foolish decision. You understand? You have to somehow voice yourself with kindness to let him know, hey, you're making a mistake. You understand? Because you can see better than the guy, believe it or not. So now, remember, we said a man is looking for someone that's suitable, a helper. What is a woman looking for? Believe it or not, a woman is looking for something she already knows. We're going to get questions after. After, we're going to get questions. Oh, no, I'm just asking in general, so I'm answering my own questions. After, we're gonna get questions. So a woman is looking for something she's used to. Every woman is looking for something she's familiar with. And the only familiarity a woman has is her father. So a woman is looking for her father to marry with her father. That's it. Believe it or not. Because what people call pretty in the mind, what a woman called pretty in the mind, is what she used to. She used to all type of things. You act just like her father, she thinks you're pretty. Oh, he's cute the way he smiles. Because daddy used to smile like that. It's just not registered that that's what she's comparing you to. But according to her, that's what pretty to her, that's what cool, that's what nice. It's the image she has, and that's what she's looking for, and that is wrong. Every little girl falls in love with the father. Believe it or not. Every one of you, if you were raised with your father in the house, you'll fall in love with your father somehow. Because that's the only man you know, that's the only person you know. Somehow you fall in love with your father. Every little boy falls in love with their mother. It's a fact of life. But as you grow up, that's not who you look for in a person. Because people look for what they believe they know is good. It's not what you think is good that is good. It's the value and what? Virtues. That's what you have to look for in a person. Is that what you feel? Because daddy was tall, you want a tall man. The minute you see a short man, you because he's short. And we're talking about short people does that. They're so short and they're looking for a tall man. What's wrong with you? So it's going to take the shorties. So it's not the height you look for, It's not the outside you see, but you have to see the value and the virtue in that person. That's the problem why some ladies never give some men any chance at all. By the time they see him, it's not my type. So you don't know the person, you've never talked to them, he's not your type. How? You've never even said hi to the person. The only thing you know is their names, and then you just say, he's not your type. How do you know? Think about it. So what is your type? It's the image you have in your head. You believe that's your type. That image. And that's how people deceive themselves. That's how some women end up marrying the wrong man. Because they're looking for that image that is so wrong in the head. You understand? That's not what you look for. You have to look for values and virtues which you will find unless you give a person a chance to talk to. If the person never talked to you, you never listen to the person, you will never know. And there are many people like this that didn't want to talk to a person and later on end up talking to that person and they realize that they were going to make a mistake in life because they didn't give the person a chance because of the image they have in their head. That's very, very wrong. Very, very, very wrong. 3 types of women you need to avoid in this life. Number 1, gold digger. Careful with women like this. If you start talking with the woman, he kept telling you, buy me this, buy me that. Call you to buy them things. They always want something. Overeat every day. They're sending you screenshots of what they like. They tag you of all type of stuff. You're just talking to the person. And they already want all these things. That's a gold digger. You don't have a position there. Number 2, gossiper. A woman that talks too much. She doesn't have time to build a future. She doesn't have time to build herself, and she's not a helper. Because she's going to put your business out anyway. Everything you tell her, she's telling somebody else. You don't belong there. Number 3, a woman that likes to spend a lot of money. Don't wait to come to the altar for prayer. There's no prayer for that. There's no prayer for that. It's not now, I knew she was like that, but I didn't know it was that bad. And you think, she's just spending, it's nothing. It is something. How are you going to buy a house? How are you going to build a future to have something going on? If every time you have a dime, that woman spend it. Think about it. You're not going anywhere in this life with this type of people. Hallelujah. So gentlemen, be careful with this type of women. Gold digger, gossiper, and big spender. There's so much information here. So let us keep going. A man with a vision is looking for a woman that's ready for a mission. A woman is supposed to be ready to be on a mission and to look for a man with a vision. If the man, when he's talking to you, yes, he's talking about his vision, and he doesn't include you in his vision, there's a problem. No, I have planned to build this, to do that. I'm going to buy this building. I'm going to do this. And then while he's telling you all this, he's laughing about it. He's so happy that's his plan. And don't ask him question where you fit in it. That's lowering yourself. He should know where to put you into his plan. If you've never fit in his plan, you need to run. Because you're not included in the plan. He's ready to do it all by himself. So a man has to know to include you in his plan. And you have to listen to him. Listen to his plan. And the more he's talking, keep on listening to see, are you involved in the plan or not? If not, once you marry with this guy, he will always be busy doing his plan that he told you. And guess what? You're gonna be the maid, you're gonna be the cook, and you're gonna be the sex slave. That's what he was looking for. A maid to wash the clothes, a cook to cook for him, and a sex slave for nighttime. Some men, that's all they need. It doesn't need more than that. And if you don't want to fall into that category, you have to know where you fit into the plan of that man. You have to know. And he has to voice it without even you saying anything. If he doesn't voice it, you're a big problem. One of the problems that I realize most women encounter, because men are hunters in search for something, most of the time they are broken. Women doesn't understand that. A broken man doesn't show you he's broken. A broken woman shows you that she's broken. Woman will show you she's hurt, but a man is still acting like he's a man, yet he's broken. I want you ladies to listen to this carefully, because most of the women, that's what they do. A broken man is like a sick man that goes to the hospital. In the hospital, after they take care of him, do you live in the hospital? Anybody love your nurse so much you stay in the hospital forever? Woman, you're not a nurse. Your job is not to take care of a broken man that's going to leave you after 6 months. After you help him for 6 months, once you fix him, he's gone. Because nobody stays in the hospital living with a doctor. After they fix your car, no matter how good the mechanic is, the car don't stay with the mechanic. It goes. Once you fix this man, he's not going to stay with you. Your job is not there to fix a man. Your job is not there. You're not a mechanic. You understand? You're not a doctor. You're not his mother. Your job is not there to put him to school. When he finishes the school, he's going to look at you, look at himself, he look at you, he look at himself. He doesn't belong there anymore. So you're going to put them into school. For what? You're his mother? Think about it. Are you his mother? We can have plans together. It has to be him that wants to go to school for himself, but not you make plans for him to go to school. Once you make him somebody, he will always remember you did something great for him. But guess what? A man shall leave his mother and father to go find another woman. Because you were just the mother. Stop playing a role of a mother in a relationship. And then you're going to start blaming guys. Oh, I blame this guy. I can't believe he left me and go marry somebody. Of course he's going to. Because you are just a hospital. A broken person needs fixing, but that's not the way for him to be fixed. Every broken person is looking for somewhere to be fixed. And the day you become the fixer for a man, he's not staying with you. Always remember that. Am I talking to somebody? Question not to ask as a woman. Women never ask those questions. Do not ever ask a man this question. Will you cheat on me? The minute you ask those questions, you already reduce yourself. That means you're the type of quality that he may cheat on. The minute you ask that question, you already reduce yourself. If you are a great value, if you are that one he's looking for, why should he even think about that? But the minute you start asking that questions, you already show that you have self-esteem issue, that you have so much issue, you're scared, you this, you that, then there's no value into you. If you've got to ask that type of questions, you don't belong there either. Number 2, will you break my heart? When you ask that type of questions, you show that you're desperate. Not only you're desperate, indirectly you show him that you need him more than he needs you. That's what you're showing to the man. He truly needs you. I mean, you truly need him more than he needs. So you're asking, will you break my heart so you can settle? That's the type of question you never ask somebody. 3, are you going to marry me? That is a decision of the man to marry you. You know why a man don't marry a woman? Why? A man wants to own his own woman. If he stay with you, you wash his clothes, you cook for him, you give him sex whenever he wants, you get everything. So what's the point of marriage? Tell me what's the point of marriage after that. So we're doing everything we're doing in the marriage while we're not married. So why married? You have to understand, every little girl dream about wedding, about church. There's no men that dream about that stuff. If you find me a man that dream about, he's walking in the aisle and then they're going to say, kiss the bride. No men dream about that kind of stuff ever. You will not find one man in this world that dream about walking in the aisle. But a man dream about a beautiful woman. That's it. So for him to marry you, it's you that dream about wedding, you that dream about that dress, that people come to your wedding. It was a big wedding, but you will not find no men dream about that stuff. So for him to marry you, he has to be pressured. And how? By you keeping yourself. The more you keep yourself from this man, the more angry he gets. He's going to be mad at you. He's going to go crazy. And when he realizes you're not giving in, you know what's going to happen? He's going to find a way to marry you as soon as possible, to make you his woman so he can have you all. But if he has all of you before marriage, he will never marry you. Don't wait for marriage. Marriage will only be a topic that we talk about when we see TV, watch TV. As a matter of fact, he'll change the channel. When we see people married on TV, he'll quickly change the channel so you don't say nothing. So you don't give him clues or anything. Because he's comfortable. A person that is comfortable will never marry you. And when you ask about it, you're too desperate, you don't deserve it. It's not your job to ask a man to marry you. It is his job to know. And it is your job to keep yourself and to stay away from him. There are times the men call you, you don't pick up your phone. In the morning when he asks you, where were you? You said, I was home. Did you see me calling? Yes. Why didn't you pick up? It was so late. I didn't want to pick up. So you don't pick up my call after 11? No, we're not married. We're not married. It was late. I don't pick up phone calls after 11. But I'm your boyfriend. I'm your boyfriend. I know you are. So what do you think a man like that gonna do if he truly loves you? You know what he's gonna do? Some night he's gonna drive by to see if your car's in front of your house. When he realizes that you're really home, and he's calling you, not picking up the phone, and whatever, and then he's gonna realize that, man, I need a woman like this for my wife. You have to show your potential. You understand? Compromising for a man doesn't make you look good. It makes you look bad. In the women world, because you feel things, you want to compromise because of your sensitivity. You want to do things to please people or to please a man as a woman. But in our world, we don't think like that. Remember that women and men are different. Even when the man is acting up, Don't compromise because we know you're sensitive. That's why we do that. We already know you're sensitive. We already know you're very emotional. We already know you're the weak vessel. So we will play the game very well. Please, somebody get my wife out here so she doesn't listen to this. I'm just joking. So, so my wife, don't use this against me when I'm playing my game. So a man understand that. You understand? He knows you are very emotional. He will use all of those against you just to get his way. And you, if you let him. And do you know that goes even for married people? Married people. I'm telling you, if there's a way someone treats you, and there are things you want from you, you shouldn't do it. There's a way someone treats you, you don't have to cook today. He doesn't earn you cooking today. You're cooking, he should just go eat Burger King, McDonald's somewhere else. But as for you, you don't cook today. When he come home, you consolate, you eating your own meal by yourself. And then when he asks you, what's for dinner? You said, I don't know, what's for dinner? You understand? There are things people do to you if you don't do something to show him that it's not right, without opening your mouth, without arguing. I'm not arguing, I'm not saying nothing, but my action will show you that I'm not happy. And when you do things like that, he will learn, he will understand. Most men will play it safe, because men don't like a lot of talking. So they will act like they don't understand. They will go to the fridge, do whatever they got to do. But guess what? He understands, he knows. But if you keep doing everything the same way, after someone just mistreated you, after someone do certain things to you, you lose in value. A person losing value is losing the position as well. When you lose in value, you lose in your position as well. Because remember, your position, you have it because of how valuable you were. Always remember that. You have to keep yourself valuable in the relationship. It's how the person treats you. If someone mistreating you, check yourself. What are you doing wrong? If you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to do, right, then there's a way to behave yourself. If there's a second room, sometimes you go to that room, you go sleep there. You understand? You go to that other room and you sleep there, you stay there. Because if you're going to treat me this way, I'm not staying in the room with you. Because if you allow this thing to keep going more and more, it will become a pattern. In relationship, you have to be careful with certain patterns. Because once it becomes a pattern, there's no way for you to take this thing back again. It will stay that same way forever, and you don't want that to happen. You understand? If we're going to talk about it, we talk about it. If we're not going to talk about it, then I'm going to stop some stuff. Maybe not cooking today. Maybe not cleaning. I'm going to leave your stuff there and for you to see it. You understand? Because sometimes you don't have to talk. Some women, they talk too much. You don't have to keep on talking, saying a lot of things. Sometimes your silence can mean a lot to a man. You understand? Sometimes the voice of your silence can be louder than any other voices. It can be very, very loud. We're number 3, right? Are you going to marry me? Number 4. What makes you different from the others? When you ask a man what makes you different from the others, now you make him start thinking what kind of ex you had. What kind of woman you had before to ask him this question? Oh, yes. He's going to start thinking that way. It sounds like an interrogation. You're interrogating him as well. So what makes you different? And you make yourself feel like you're the only one with a heart. That he cannot get hurt to himself. That you're the only one protecting yourself. Like you're running from something. What have you done? So he's wondering about your others as well. What's going on? What happened to you and the others? So a question you ask someone, it will bring your self-esteem down. It will bring your value down. And guess what? All those questions can be asked indirectly. Without even voice them, yes, you're still asking them. You understand? There are things you don't have to say because your position as woman, you're not the hunter. If you are chasing a man down, he will never love you. Let me say that again for the women to hear me. Whether you're married or not, if you're chasing your man down, he will never love you. If you are whining every day, whether you're married or not, to your man, he will not look at you the same way. You understand? That's the reason sometimes it's good to have someone to talk to and to bring certain things, to empty yourself. Why? Because you don't want to be in a house with someone and to become a burden, to become a heavy weight in this relationship. If you're a weight in the relationship, because remember, a man is looking for what? A suitable what? Helper. Not a problem. So if you're not a suitable helper, you become an everyday problem in this relationship, whether you're married or not. I'm telling you, it's hard to start seeing virtue and values in you. It's hard to see it. Because every day, the person is coming home, he knows that you're going to mention something. There's always going to be something with you. You have something to complain about. So there's no seeing your virtue, your values anymore, because you're just someone that's complaining every day. So that in this relationship, whether you're married or not, that person is going to get cold towards you. Believe it or not. They will have sympathy for you. And there's a lot of relationship like this, that they have sympathy on the woman. He feels like doesn't want to hurt her feelings and is acting up, but really, the love is not there. Every woman can tell when the husband is cold, when the love is not there. A man may not be able to tell, but a woman can tell. Whenever the love is not there, truly not there, a woman will feel it and you will know for a fact. And feeling the way a woman feels, I'm telling you, 50, 60% of time they're right of what they feel concerning something, and they're very right about it because of your nature. The nature of a woman, I'm telling you, because of the patience of the way they build, your sensitivity is a weapon. Although sometimes people can make it feel like it's a problem, you're too sensitive, but your sensitivity is a weapon that you have that can cause you to feel certain things that's wrong. And when you feel it wrong, it's wrong. Hallelujah. Amen. So, the type of men you ladies need to avoid in a relationship, we talk about broken men. That's the number one. A man that is truly broken, you have to avoid this type of man. Remember, a broken man is looking for what? He's looking for a nurse, a doctor, to fix him. Once you fix him, he's gone. Number two, a man with no principle. A man with no principle. Careful with a man that has no principle at all. A man with no principle will have no boundaries, will not care about anything. A man with no principle will tell you anything, and he doesn't mean it. It's a matter of time before your heart is broken. When you are with a man with no principle, I want you to truly think about that. You start understanding the man with no principle with time. How the men manage time. If he says picking you up at 6, and watch the time he comes. Even if it's 6:10, don't call him. Wait and see. If he has principle, he'll call you and say, I'm late. But a man with no principle won't say anything. He'll just show up at 6:30, say, oh, it's not that late. 6:30. That's where it starts. And a person with no principle, they're so careless that the craziest thing they do to you, they make it feel like it's nothing. And they want you to take it as nothing. That is a man with no principle. And you have to be very careful with this type of man. And number 3, a bossy man. A man that acts as a boss is bossy. You know what boss do to people? Order you around. Telling you what to do. Oh yeah, they'll fire you very quick. See, the boss can be laughing at you at the 1 minute, and the next minute he get against you right there. That's a boss. They'll tell you what to do, they won't even do it with you. You don't need a boss. You need what? You need a leader. You don't need a boss. You need a leader, a man that is a leader. And that leadership doesn't start with you. You have to see it in that person talking to you. How do you see it? Ladies, this is how you test your men. You do it anyway. The men ask you, what do you want to eat? What do you say? I don't know. You do it anyway. I don't know. Watch him to see what is his decision. You understand? A leader, a true leader, will give you a few options to see if you can pick one. And even if you don't pick one, he'll still take you to one because he knows when you see it, you may want it now. But a boss, you know what a boss do? He will choose something for you, whether you like it or not, whether you want it, and he will still going to buy this. And then he's going to get very upset because you didn't make up your mind. Oh yes, he's going to be very mad at you, and he feel like he has the reason to be mad at you. Is that the relationship you want to be in? You see how we're going to be in the house? There's going to be unnecessary fight because he's a boss. He would not know how to treat you as a woman. You can never be with a boss. And you know what the bossy relationship starts? It starts with the person maybe when they were young, in their own household, how they see the father treat the mother, or they grew up without father. And that's where this thing starts. You always need to know the background of the people that you are with. I've sat with countless of people in relationship, and do you know when they stop dreaming, they stop thinking about life the day they got married? Many people went through that. They stopped thinking about life completely the day they stopped married. And I'm talking about for guys and women. It happened to both. It's like the person, they were so life-driven. They had so many plans. They wanted to be this. They wanted to be that. They wanted to do so many things. And then one of them killed their dreams. And then you find those two people. Go ahead, that's fine. You find those two people stop dreaming. They don't want to dream anymore. And they just give up in life. They're compromising for the other. And some people, they do it for family. You understand? They're compromising. Because your mom told you not to get into this relationship. Dad told you, your family told you. Now you got into it. Now you want to show them you're staying in it. And every time you see them, you're smiling. Everything is good. But they have no idea what's going on with you in that relationship. They have no idea what's happening with you. But you want to show them everything is okay. Compromising. You're not going to go nowhere. Never be in a relationship because of other people. You understand? I'm going to share some things with you that's more practical now. And instead of me reading into something that's going to help you. You cannot be in a relationship to someone that's not relate to you. Relate. We have to relate somehow. Sex don't keep relationship. Believe it or not, people get tired of sex after a while. So after you're done, there's kids here, so I wanted to talk, but there's kids here. But that's fine. That's fine. We're going to keep it PG-13. So, let's say, don't worry about it. We're in church here. What's going on? So, let's say, after you have sex 2, 3, 4 times this week, what's left when you don't want to have sex the rest of the week? Think about it. Okay, you're tired of it. All right, okay, you do it the whole month, and then you're tired of it now. What happened next? Talk to me after you get married for 20 years. So, after that, what's left? You know what's left? If we not relate together, there will never be any communication. It's too stranger. It's too stranger. That's the reason you cannot marry the person because of sex. If that's the reason, maybe you should just go to somewhere, what are those places called, and buy one of those women. If that's the reason you want to marry a woman. Because what happened, because you're human, everybody, no matter how much food, you love this food, you love that food, you get tired of it after a while. Not because you don't like it no more, you just don't want it today or tomorrow. But what's left is how we relate together. So that's when you cannot be in a relationship with someone if we don't have nothing to talk about. If there's no relationship, we not relate together. Relate in how? Whether we talk about shows, movies, TVs, people, we talk about things. There has to be some type of relationship that keep keep us connected together. You understand? And most people, they don't have that connection. There's nothing they have in common. If you don't have nothing in common with someone, you cannot be with that person. This is the scenario of a relationship. Two people that is heading the same way and they get in the same car together, then they have no problem. Why? Because they are expecting to get to the same place together. As long as we're going to the same place, we're good. But if you compromising your ride and then to get into somebody's car, I'm telling you, there's a lot of problem. One of you is not going to be happy. Somebody going to be crying every now and then because you left your dream for someone else, and now you get into the car or in the boat, and you don't know where they're going. You're just going along with the ride. You're not going to be happy. We all can bring that conclusion now. It's not money. Money doesn't bring happiness into this life. Yes, it can position you to be happy somewhere. But money doesn't bring happiness. That's the reason some people You may have a job that's giving you a lot of money. You leave it for something less because you're not happy there. See, people are looking for places where they feel okay, they feel happy. That's the reason when you get into a relationship with someone, you have to know where that person is going. If you don't know where you're going, where am I supposed to go with you? Where am I going to go with you? Where are we going? So before you get into a relationship with a man, the man needs to know where he's going. I say, Pastor, but I'm already married. What am I supposed to do? If you're already married, we need to sit together. Says, where are we going? What is our plan together? Where are we going? Because if we're not going somewhere that's good for you, that's good for me, one of us is going to be happy. Only one of us is going to be happy. It has to be somewhere that the two of us, we love this thing so much we don't mind going together. And once the two of us put together and we go into the place that the two of us like together, I'm telling you, you will hear people fight in a relationship but not you. Because we love what we're doing. We love where we're going together. We love what's happening together. I'm not doing it for you, not doing it for me. You're doing it because that's what you want to do anyway. So why fighting? But people who fight every day, check yourself. We don't have anything in common. That's why you fight. That's the reason you fight every day. But as long as there's plans in common, relationship will be stable, very stable. So that alone shows you the first part of relationship, it's not the love side, it's the friendship side. So in other words, two people friends can be friends forever, two people married may not be married forever. Because in a relationship, a friendship lasts longer than any marriage. So if you're truly friend with the person you're with, and then you married with that person, now you have two leverage here. Not only we're friends, but we're married. When this thing is failing, this will stand. So if we cannot relate, you don't understand my joke, I don't understand your joke, there's no point to talk to me. Because I'm going to need to joke around, you're going to need to joke around, we have to understand each other somehow. So find someone that understands your joke better. If every time you say something and then that woman says, that's not funny, look for someone that thinks you are funny. Oh yes. If every time you laugh, the man keep telling you, I don't like the way you laugh. But you've been laughing like this forever. So now he wants you to change your laugh. Why? Find somebody that likes you the way you are. Because you cannot change your way compromising who you are for anyone in this life. No, don't change nothing about you. Because there's someone that will accept you the way you are. And as a matter of fact, I say, laugh again, I love when you laugh. While one is telling you to be quiet and one is telling you to laugh. So that's the one you need to find. See, most people's problem is this. We keep ourselves occupied for too long, and that's where desperation comes in. If you're in a relationship, it's not it. Cut it. Clear up your schedule. When I say clear up your schedule, don't call me unless you have an accident, please. No, it has to be a really bad accident for you to call me. You understand? Once you clear up, we're done, it has to be done. Because you need yourself to be available for the next person. You understand? But if we're still talking at night, you're still on the phone, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? So when are you going to have time for the next person? As long as you still hold on to the past, you cannot move on for the future. As a matter of fact, people will pass you by, you can't see them because you're holding to the past. Most people don't understand that. They are afraid of letting go. They want to be holding on to something. And someone here taught me this. Is it monkey thing, monkey ball, whatever it calls? What is it called? Huh? Monkey theory. Not the monkey theory. Because they said monkey will not let go of a bar until it hold on to another one. It doesn't work like that. You have to fully let go. Let go. Believe it or not, the same way this man could see you, this woman could see you, there's plenty of other people that will see you. Plenty of people will see you. You just have to make sure you're truly available. But don't compromise because nobody ever talked to you for 2 months, and then now you start feeling a certain way, and then now you wanna now anyone that comes your way, and then you wanna show them you're available, and then you start acting up a certain way because that's the type of person they say they like, and then you already it's like you're this actor that wanna become whatever they want. No, you can do that with yourself. You have to be you at all time, and someone gonna be with you. Let them be with you because of you, because of the way you are, and that's who they like, and that's what it is, and that's it. I'm gonna leave some time for questions, and if you have your questions, please you can get some questions ready, and we can try to answer them together. And there's no wrong answer, so I'm not gonna be answering all the questions. You can help me answer as well if you know the answer to it. I think I have hands all the way in the back. And get a mic, please. So when you're gonna ask the question, I think there's mics around the tables. Ask for a mic.
As a wife, if you're upset, should you continue your wifely duties? Because you mentioned something earlier about
Don't put mine up. That's why we put it down. Put hers, not mine. Go ahead.
I know earlier you mentioned that like if your significant other, your spouse, if he does something, then you should also there's a change that has to be done to show that you're unhappy so he won't feel like it's okay.
Okay.
I know one of the things was like cooking, cleaning. So my question was, as a wife, if you are unhappy, does that mean that you don't have to keep up with your wifely duties?
Okay. What I mentioned earlier is not if you're unhappy. If the person do something directly to you that disrespectful, that offended you in a certain way, to keep your value, to keep your respect, to keep who you are. If they don't want to fix it, they don't do nothing about it. You don't continue living life the same way it was, as if nothing happened. You understand? But if you just unhappy about things about life, yes, you have to continue to do what you're supposed to do. Life doesn't stop because you're unhappy. That's what we call matters over feelings. No matter how you feel, life still go on, bills still have to pay, everything. Time doesn't stop. Time doesn't stop for your feelings. So because time doesn't stop, we cannot stop because we feel a certain way. You know, there are things. If it's just an argument, two people are arguing together, and you get upset, you can still do things. But if when the person disrespect you directly a certain way, and they don't acknowledge it, you have to make sure they acknowledge it. So the same thing doesn't repeat again. You understand? There's something someone do to you. If you don't point it out, it's gonna keep repeating, and you don't want that cycle to go on and on. Okay, go ahead. There's a mic.
Okay, Pastor. Apostle. You said something about sleep in the other room. How do you fix a broken man spiritually and mentally? And you said something about sleep in the other room. Suppose it's one room.
That's a good question. Okay.
Um, okay.
Uh-huh.
I will like you're gonna answer that, sir?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, if it's one bedroom, there's so many things. See, so many ways I would not tell a woman to go sleep on the floor. No, you can, you can turn your back and then leave. Just stay in a little corner all by yourself. She said he will mess with you.
Exactly. uh, sir,
Go ahead, go ahead.
okay, sir. So you said turn your back.
I mean, but
That's
I don't, I
that's
don't
very
know.
dangerous, you know,
Like
sir.
some people,
That's a that's a dangerous. That's very dangerous.
what did you say? I didn't hear. Huh? Oh,
Okay, sir. Are you going to give me an answer, Apostle?
yes. I'm gonna try to give you an answer.
Okay.
I was gonna. I said when I mentioned turn your back. She said he'll still mess with you. So I was gonna change my answer. And if you know, everybody knows the spouse, you know the person you're with, you know the way they are. If you have to get them to sleep on the couch somewhere, you know, if he has to leave the room, you tell him he cannot sleep on the bed tonight. You have to do something to show him that what take place, you're not happy about it. There are men that will tell you, he's not going to leave the room, you have to leave the room yourself. You know, yeah, that's the boss one. Some men will understand that the room belongs to the woman. Some men knows that, and they will leave the room because if they ask them to leave, they'll leave. But if the bossy man will not leave that room, they'll tell you leave yourself. So if they don't want to leave, you may have to leave the room yourself.
I don't believe in leaving the room, leave your matrimonial bed if you are married.
Uh huh.
And I would believe that you sit down and apologize to each other. That, honey, I may say I'll do something, and he's not happy about it, or she's not happy about it. Than to tell them to leave the room because maybe he'll
Okay.
never come back.
So what if? Let me ask you. What if after he did something, he doesn't acknowledge what happened? He never acknowledged it and act like it's good, but yet you're truly offended. Yet it's really bad, but he doesn't see it.
Well, if he doesn't see, then, well, he loses chance there. I'll take it to the next level.
What's the next level?
The next level is that, well, I'm going to get a counselor. We're going to get counseling towards that. And if him don't do that, then I'm going to the doghouse.
Okay.
Because there's nowhere we can build a life if we can see and apologize or talk over things that is not going right.
And that's why leaving the room is easier than taking it to the next level first.
But suppose there's only one room, sir, one bed.
Someone's gonna have to sleep on the floor somewhere.
There is no couch. One room.
But okay. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Let's say there's one room. Okay, there's one bedroom. It's not the sleeping thing, that sleeping in the room. It's not the only way you can act. Like we mentioned, as far as cooking as well. Let's say the night he come and try to touch you. That's one way to bring the conversation in. That's one way to say, did you remember what just happened earlier? And then to bring it up, that's one way to talk about it. So the what we mentioned it's not just to do things, but to bring awareness of what happened in a way for him to feel, to understand what he did is wrong. You understand? If you know your spouse, you talk to him, he will acknowledge it, then you do it. But some men, you can't talk to them. Some men is when they come and touch you, that's the only time you can talk to them.
Thank
So-
God for mine.
All right.
Thank you, Apostle.
No problem. Go ahead.
All right, I'm just gonna kind of like say a few words about what she mentioned,
Okay.
because I feel like once upon a time I was kind of like in the same situation. I'll come from the gym, I'm tired, and then that's when honey got something to say, and after having a long day, exhausted, and then we may have like some disagreement, right? And before I would say, I mean, I used to get upset. You know what? I'm just gonna come out like you say. What if you have one room? I got it, right? But my pastor will talk to me like if I'm really acting up, she'll call my pastor, and then and he'll come. My my pastor is like my second dad, and
That's that's good.
he'll talk to me, and I started to understand. Okay, by him give me some advice, talking to me, even though it's one room, but you shouldn't go to sleep so hungry, so mad, like the Bible say. So me as a man, I had to suck it up. I'm like, you know what? Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Sometimes even though she'll bother me, I'm like, honey, I need to sleep, please. I need to wake up. I'll be so hungry, but however, what stayed with me is that to stop from leaving the room, it just worked things out. Because at the end of the day, I'm thinking, bro, I'm still gonna come back in there, and then it's not gonna be over. So I might as well just suck it up and just moving forward. That's me for
See,
now.
that's a man mindset. We were talking about the woman perspective. Because men, we're going to suck it up. We don't worry about that. But on the woman perspective, in a sensitive being, that's a whole different ballgame. But you also mentioned something, your apostle. And that's the reason, in the beginning, that's what we mentioned. A man has to have somebody they're accountable to.
Oh, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Trust me. At the beginning, it was really tough.
You have to, and we did explain that, you have to have someone you're accountable to. And for the ladies, you know that whenever a man is talking to you, you have to find out who this man listen to. If he doesn't have somebody he listen to, you're in trouble. There has to be someone you can go to that he's afraid of. You understand? If he's not afraid of anybody, so you're in trouble. Think about it. You're in trouble. He's not saying, "Oh, I'm afraid of God." I'm telling you, we all afraid of God. We still do things. We still do things. There has to be a man like himself that he listen to. That if he knows you're gonna call so and so, then we know we no problem. We no problem. And he's not say, "Okay, I'm gonna behave. You don't have to call," because men don't like you to call another man for them. We don't like stuff like that.
Oh no, I can't. I was so hungry out. I was like seriously, I used to feel like, bro, why you gotta call him? Like for what? Like, come on, like that make me.
But it works, right?
Honestly, yes, honestly, that's to make me so pissed when she does that. But like I say, after like like just listen, willing to listen, and like what, just be humble, like, cause there's a lot of different scripture, like us men sometimes we have that ego pride, like we don't want no man or we don't want nobody to say anything to us. But the thing is, we gotta suck it up sometimes. It's just like me, like from where I work, I'm a personal trainer. I work at the gym. I'm around a lot of people all the time, and my personality, and you got guys, even me saying hello to guy, like they're like, man, like where this guy? He always happy, excited. What's going on with him? But it's all about like, respect for everybody wants, and then once you're in the crowd, guys, they can see the difference. But the thing is, it's all about like who you have ahead of you. Like you say, my pastor is like my mentor before, because long time I won't even say hello to a guy or even hug a guy or say anything or even shake your hand. So for me, I came from far from my background. But hey, everything happened for a reason. Everything changed for the better. So
Powerful. I think back there we had one question right there. Then I'm gonna take you. Did you raise your hand as well? You? No? Okay. All right, go
Okay.
ahead.
I have a lot, but I'm gonna just ask two, if that's okay. My first one, you mentioned if a man doesn't fit you in his vision, then run. Okay, what if a man always, like whenever you're in a relationship, they fit you in their vision, but for their vision, you're always the wife, and they're always declaring about how many kids you're gonna give them. How, as a woman, can you change that view of yourself?
Um, Feeding you in his vision, it means that to embrace whatever dream you have as well to help you into accomplishing what you need to do in life as well. Because a man is not the only one that dreams. Everybody dreams. Everybody see themselves doing something. So whatsoever the man's going to do, he has to have certain plans where he feels like, okay, and then whatever you said, and then he says, okay, I'm going to help you to do this. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, and we're going to do it together. While you're doing this, I'm doing this. There has to be a plan that fit your plan. You understand? That's what it means. Your plan has to be fit in his plan as well. So if your plan is not to just have children, because the kids, the two of you has to raise the children, not just you. So if that's the only plan he has for you, there's someone else with a better plan. So keep shopping around.
Okay, my next question, you talked about a broken man. What advice do you have for broken women when it comes to a relationship?
You have to find yourself. A broken woman has to find yourself first. You have to gain yourself, to heal first from the past. Because this is what women do. If you go back to another relationship, to you, it's a continuity of the first relationship. You will use the second person as like we continue the relationship. That's what people do. They done with the first relationship because they are still broken. They get into the second relationship as if they were continue the first relationship. That's wrong. So you have to take time to heal, take time to take everything out of your mind. You will know you heal when someone is talking to you, and even when they say what people used to say to you, and they still don't remind you of so-and-so. But if every time they mention something, oh, you remind me of so-and-so, you are not healed. As long as they can remind you of so-and-so, they will become so-and-so in your eyes. So you have to be completely healed first, where you will judge them for what they do wrong, not what they do like so-and-so. So that's the reason healing is very important in a relationship. And the process of healing, you have to purge your mind from anything you feel, and you have to forgive. And I tell people this all the time. Anything that's not for keeping is forgiven. If it's not for keeping, then forgive it. It's forgiven. You get it? So if you don't want to keep it, if it's not for you to keep, then you have to forgive it. So, and forgiving is one of the biggest things in a relationship. Even your ex, you have to be able to let them go and see them happy. And that's the reason I voice this all the time. There's no bad people on this earth. Believe it or not. There's no bad people. We make bad decisions. We make bad decisions. We choose the wrong crowd. What you call wrong crowd for you may not be the wrong crowd for me, based on where I'm going in life. And I mention this all the time. That's why friends, they like shoes. Sometimes they'll be too small for you. And if you keep on trying to fit them into your life, they will hurt you. And when they hurt you, you call them the bad friends, bad people. They're not bad people. They just don't fit you no more. But let them fit someone else, and I'm telling you that person will have the best friend ever. And it's the same way there are people in your life, your ex, they may not fit you, but doesn't mean they are bad people. You understand? They'll fit someone else perfectly. So you have to let go of the past. And that's the reason there are time. Some women, we let soul tied cause us to hold on to something that's bad and expecting it to change. See, the will of God, is it Woman 12 verse 2, that do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by what? By the renewal of your mind. Why? That you can be able to discern the will of God, the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. There's the three will of God, the good will, acceptable, and perfect. It says He's good, pleasing, and acceptable. These are the three will of God. There are certain people, if the man was not a perfect man, let's say it was a good man, you fall into the good will of God with this man. Don't ever expect this man to be perfect. He will never be perfect. He will always be good. If you fall into the perfect will of God with this relationship, it will be perfect. But if it's just a good, you fall into the good will of God in this relationship, I'm telling you, there's no prayer on this earth that's going to make this relationship perfect. It cannot. It cannot. Because it already fall into a category. You miss the perfect man, you fall into the good man. So the good man will never be the perfect man. It cannot be. And some of us, that's what we do. We are praying for God to change somebody, to make somebody become something that they are not. They will never be. And that's the reason compromising, it's not in the picture. You should never compromise. If you truly know what you want something to be perfect, then don't compromise for less than perfect. If you compromise for something, you settle for good and expect this thing for the rest of your life will be good, but will never be perfect. Let me take this question all the way back there.
There's 2 Facebook questions. The first one is from Sister Linda. She wants to know, is it okay for a woman or man to use their body as leverage to do something?
Unless they're a prostitute, right? I mean, if you're not a prostitute, you can't do that. That's not a leverage. That's not something you use for leverage. And that's not part of the deal at all. If someone, they need this to do something, then someday when they're going to look for a prostitute as well. So you cannot, that's not part of the deal at all.
Okay, and then Sister Kika says, Hebrews 13:4 says not to defile the marriage bed. I think it pertains to infidelity and anger. If my spouse does something and we cannot discuss it to the point where he has to leave the marriage bed, doesn't it mean that I'm inviting the enemy in to cause even more damage?
That's misinterpretation. Misinterpretation, defile the marriage bed. That's not what Scripture says. Read the whole chapter and they will see. The Bible explains it very clear what it means to defile the marriage bed. I just don't want to get deep into it to more questions. That's why I don't answer. I don't go into it. But if you read the chapter, you will get the answer. Defile the bed is whenever someone else comes to the bed. Let's say you bring another man to someone's bed. All right, I think I feel better now. I'll drink some water. That'll help. I think she was first.
So my question is, as a woman, when people put you in a box based off of your looks, how do you break out of that box to show?
Okay, you said when they put you in the box?
Yeah, like if you're like really attractive, people just look at you like that's all that you have. Like there's no intelligence or anything else. So people just look at you for your looks, and then that'll be it. So as a woman, how do you show up in the world in a different way without associating yourself with like the moniker of like, you know, when the strong woman shows up, people look at you like you crazy, angry black woman or whatever. How do you do that gracefully?
Let me tell you something. You see, life is too short for you to have so much to show people. Everything you're going to do in this life, let it be, that's part of your destiny, part of your calling. That's the path God has chosen for you to take, and you take that path. Guess what? Some will accept you, some won't accept you. Some people will look at you as just a beauty blonde. Some will look at you a different way. So doesn't matter how people look at you, it's how you see yourself. That's the first part of life. You understand? It's how you view yourself. See, beauty starts with self. That's where it starts, with self. If you see yourself so beautiful, you care for yourself, you know you're beautiful, people will have to see you for what you see yourself. You can expect someone to see what you don't see. And now, if people want to see you just, oh, you're just beautiful and that's it, that's them. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, their opinion of you cannot change who you are, cannot change what you have, cannot stop you, cannot block you, cannot do nothing. You understand? So you just have to understand to fulfill what you're fulfilling, and regardless of people's opinion towards you. Now, let's say someone come your way, the right person comes your way, and now that's the only thing they want to see. They may not be the right person, but because whoever's right for you will see you for who you truly are, not just your beauty. And they will see the inner beauty, the outside as well, everything. They will see everything about you. They will see your virtue, your values. So always remember that. Don't forget about what people think of you. It's what God says concerning you. That's all that matters. Always focus on the path ahead. The path ahead. I'm going to take her first. She was here before you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
What Apostle said. There's a meme that says that you walk into the room like you belong there. And you have to understand the society that we live in, and we live in a very chauvinistic society. So you're always going to have people that are going to look at you based upon your look and box you in. But your job, as Apostle said, is to demonstrate why you belong there. And you demonstrate why you belong there just by being yourself. You have no control over what people think of you as far as the opinions that they have of you. But your job is basically just to be you. That's it. Be you. Yeah, walk in the room with your head held high, smile, and let your gifts speak for you. You know, let your anointing speak for you. Let your gifts speak for you. And obviously your looks are going to speak for you. Because the first thing they're going to notice, that's not all that you bring to the table, you know?
I was very young. A man of God heard of me. He actually heard me on the prayer line, and after he heard I was prophesying a lot of things, and he invited me. People were telling him about me as well, and he invited me to come to minister in the church, and all the way to Wood Island. That was my first time there. And when I went to Wood Island, when I get to the car, there were about 3-4 cars that come to pick me up. And I don't know what they heard, but every cars, they were filled with people. It was 4 vans. They all full with people. Every one of them, they were prophetess in the cars. I don't know why all of them come. And they had a seat for me in one of the cars, so I sit in the car. As soon as I entered the car, everybody was praying in tongues. The Lord said, the Lord said. And I sit in the car, I just sit in the car. And I'm relaxing, looking at the road. And then the driver was praying. I don't know what they expect me to do. And I'm not going to do what you expect me to do either. And I just sit and relax. I was tired, I fall asleep. And I'm sleeping. And when I get to the place where I was staying, they stayed there waiting, and they were praying. I couldn't even hear the one in the back cars. I don't know what they were doing, why they were doing it. I just said, and I said nothing. I wasn't praying. I'm not going to pray because you're praying. I will pray because I have to pray. And I just sit and look around. And I even tried to ask the guy a question next to me, but he was praying. So I leave him alone. The service was going to start in the next day, the revival, a whole week. In the next day, and now the next day, they said they wanted to meet with me. And I'm like, why? What's going on? Because they said I was too soft. The way they saw me, they don't think I can deliver. Especially in that church, they don't think I'm going to be able to deliver. I said, okay, then let me go to whatever they said they wanted me to come. When I got there, and all of the prophetess, a bunch of them were there. And they tell me to come up front. I said, okay. I come up front. When I get up front, I stand there, and they told me to lift my hands. I said, okay, I'll lift my hands. And one of the lady come with they all has like leaf trees in their hands and stuff like that, and they come and hit me with it. In my whole body. In my head, I'm like, what are they doing? What are they doing? I'm wondering what's going on. And then one of them said, the Lord's going to give you strength to do what you're supposed to do. Because you're too young, doesn't seem like you can do anything. And I let them do what they were doing, and after that, I called the men of God. I said, "What's going on in this place?" So what kind of things that you guys do in this place? And so he said, those are prophetess. They big people. God used them. And if they said they're going to pray for you. I said, okay. And then the man of God in the afternoon, he asked me if I want him to preach for me. The one that invited me asked me that. I said, oh, no, if you want to preach, that's fine. You can preach. I have no problem with that. He says, no, the way you're so mellow, you want me. And I said, why you bring me here? Just because I'm not doing what you guys are doing. But I didn't say that to him. So on the first day of the revival, I preached a message, a powerful message. When I'm done preaching, the Holy Spirit started opening my eyes on those prophetess. That time I asked for a mic, just to give him a mic. I said, please, we're not going to say things. If I'm saying anything that's wrong, please expose me right there in front of everybody. Gave the prophetess a mic to talk. And prophetess started crying and said, it's true, it's true. Most of those prophetess were not godly. They all were fake people that was doing whatever they were doing. They all were fake. It wasn't my job to call them out when I saw them in the car, but when God showed me something, he showed me whatever he showed me. That's the reason never allow the crowd to cause you to act up. Never allow. You can go somewhere, you see people are acting up, doing all type of stuff. Be different, just be yourself. Because all this is an act, is a show, is nothing. You understand? People who put on a show do all type of things. Just stick with what you know and let God lead you in and let God be God, and that's it. That's how life is supposed to be. Whether you go to a job, whether you go to an interview, anywhere you go, stay humble and let God be God. You don't have nothing to show off to not one person in this world. As a matter of fact, when they expect something from you, don't give it to them. Because you have nothing to prove. Go ahead.
I actually have two questions. First one is, what advice would you give to someone who sees potential rather than actual in a relationship? You see that the person has the ability to become so much, so you push them to do that, rather than seeing the red flags that the person is showing you. What advice would you give to someone like me?
That's a powerful question. Those who see potential more than the actual. You can deceive yourself. What you see, what if that doesn't come to pass? Because there's a lot of people, show me the most talented people, I'll show you someone begging for money in the street. The best musician, they're on the street begging for money, not in TV. Did you know that? Most talented people, they're on the street begging for money, not on TV. There's great talent, potential there, but the actuality is they're in the street begging for money. So potential alone does not take anybody anywhere. It's the character you look at. The character of that person shows you how far this person is going to go. There are people, they have so much knowledge that won't take you anywhere if you have no character. You understand? Whatsoever you see in a person, don't look at the potential alone. Look at the character of that person. It will show you if that person can fulfill that potential you're seeing. If not, what you're seeing now, that's only life they're going to have. No matter how much knowledgeable you can see someone say, man, this guy, he has potential to even become the president. What will cause you to become the president is your character. If you don't have the character to carry that potential, you can only be what you are now. You understand? So never look at someone's potential, look at the character.
Second question. for those of us who have received words, people are not people from God that a man or a woman is coming and stuff. And sometimes I really want to ask, where do you see this man? Tell me. And I just want to ask this: how will you know?
Okay, I'm going to answer this question. I was supposed to talk about it, but I forgot.
As plain as possible, because
I'm going to make it as simple as possible.
Thank you so much.
Most people expecting to have a dream that they saw the one. A voice come to them says it is so and so. That's what they're expecting. Or to see the face. Because they heard the testimony, that's what they're expecting. But 95% of chance, it will not be so. Let me say that again. 95% of chance, just because someone has a testimony that before they got married with so-and-so, they actually saw the face of the person, or the name was written to them somewhere, or something was given to them, a prophecy about a person, the name was so-and-so. Just like, who was there? It was Pastor Stanley. Or Prophetess Fleur was there. I spoke to a lady on the Zoom. What did I tell her? The lady I spoke on the Zoom. Prophetess Fleur. The lady I spoke on the Zoom, when I speak on the Zoom that you connect me, wanted me to speak to, about relationship. What did I tell her?
You told her a few things.
About relationship and things like that, what's going to happen.
Oh, okay, because you told her that the one that God has for her is coming, and that he's already around, but she's not paying attention because she's not looking in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And you even described what he would wear the day that it would finally click to her.
And then what's the last thing I told her?
About her other relationship?
No, I told her the name as well, right?
Oh, yeah, you did, but she didn't hear that part and you didn't repeat it.
I told her what the guy gonna wear when she meeting with the guy. And the guy's actually around. She's just not paying attention. But just because it happened like that for someone, don't expect me to talk to you to tell you about it. I don't know anything about who you're going to meet, what is it going to look like. I have no idea. And God probably will never talk to me about another person like this again. You understand? So don't expect God to repeat things the same way because it happened for so-and-so this way. You want it to happen for you this way. Guess what? Thank God this woman find her man and knows all those information, but not everyone is like that. So what can you do then? It is simple. It is simple. You've never offered a man, never go out on a date with nobody, with a man, with a woman. The only thing you can offer to someone that come and talk to you is your friendship. It doesn't cost you nothing. It doesn't take away nothing from you to offer your friendship to someone. Friendship, why? If in the stage of friendship we are talking about nothing, then we can even relate to things we're arguing. There's no point to continue. In friendship stage, it will tell you how far we're going to go together. While we're talking as friends, we're talking about everything, you're going to see if we have something in common or if we don't have nothing in common. And that goes for every ladies. A guy want to talk to you, that's fine. Oh, can I get your number? Sure, no problem. If you're single, give them your number. Now, when they take your number, and now they want to, I like you and this and that, I want to get... Don't listen to them. Guys don't think. Tell them the only thing you have to offer is friendship. I can only offer you friendship. I don't have nothing more. And some guy won't call you after that anymore because they wanted more. And then you made it clear you can only offer friendship. They don't want friendship. Some guy would say, I have game. I'm gonna play my game on her. And every time he calls you, he want to talk about something else. You don't talk about something else. Let's talk about friendship. That's it. That's all I have to offer. And some guy will stay friends, waiting for you to slip up and then to make a mistake. But guess what? In the process, you will know who's truly a good friend and who can move forward with you in that process. In that process, God will reveal to you. If you're making a mistake in that friendship, if you're wasting your time in that friendship, God will reveal that to you. But if you tell me you sit at home, I'm praying to know the one, take it from me as a prophet, you're wasting your time. If you're sitting at home waiting, you're fasting and praying for the one to comes, you're wasting your time. You're wasting time. Always remember that you can only offer friendship to a man, and life will take it further. If you're making a mistake, if you're on the wrong path, God will tell you. He will tell you. He will, in so many different ways. He will cause this guy to show you his true intention, and you will know. You will know what to do. I mean, that's you're on your own there. If you choose to ignore the signs, you're on your own. Not even God can help you there. Because God show you signs for you to know what to do with it. And you have the choice on this earth to do whatever you want. The choice is a big thing on this earth. We all have the choice to do whatever we please. But at the same time, we have to live with the consequences of our choices. That's the most part of our choice. You make the choice, live with the consequences of it. Because every choice follows with consequences.
Yes, Apostle. Just a thought as far as say a young lady, she already given the line that she's really it's all about the friendship. She's single, she's given the number, but the guy's playing his game, and being that women are emotional creatures, and words are a type of intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
She's seeing the consistency on this guy, she's hearing the words, and he's coming with his game. Is there a buffer or a screening, per se, a screening process that maybe, like my brother mentioned, with the wife, that was his spiritual father.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say for the lady, he now has, if she's feeling any kind of way towards this guy, for her, she might not be able to take the weight of, restraining this guy because he really has game and he really has her. But her thing is now, if he's serious about it, I'm going to bring him to meet my pastor or maybe the mentor, whoever it is, because I'm seeing this relationship now, or the potential, through my emotions.
Okay.
Opposed to what the deal really is.
I want to put it this way for you. As far as people that goes here in this church, I tell every one of them, someone is talking to you, and you see something is going somewhere, come to me, and we'll talk about it. For you personally, I don't think you would have had a wife right now. Because your wife actually asked, to pray for her. She wants to make sure she's doing the right thing. She has the right person as well. And it is our job as spiritual parents to make sure that anyone, or as pastors, to make sure someone in your church is doing the right thing. I have people here that plenty can testify that there are certain things. I tell them, I said, this and that is not going to go nowhere. You have to be careful with this, with that. And some don't listen, some listen. And guess what? Months later, the pastor, you're so right about this. What do I do? What do I do now? And but I will tell you, if I have to, I may not tell someone directly to say, leave a relationship. I say that a few times. But indirectly, I'll share with you, show you in the right path. Because it is my job. I cannot watch you destroy your life, and then for me to be here, and then you're going to destroy your life. I'm not going to let it happen. Somehow, if I don't know, I don't know. But if God allow me to know, I will talk to you. And if it's a problem with whoever you are, I said, then the two of you come. Because if what I say is from God, I'll talk to the two of you. And with confirmation to the two of you, that you will know that it's not a man speaking, it's God telling me what I know.
Just real quick, I was about 17, 18 years old. I was then a part of the Church of God back in Bahamas. There was a young lady. She was like an evangelist for the Church of God in Bahamas at the time. Virgin, 33 years old, and she was sold out for God. She meets this guy about 6 months down the road, and all of the writing on the wall, she's a prophetess. I mean, she's one of those strong women of God. But from an emotional standpoint, again, this is something she really wanted. This guy wins her heart over. Contrary to what mom said, what this guy is saying, the other person, she gets married to this person. As strong as this lady is, 6 months to maybe a year and a half later, she ends up contracting AIDS. And maybe another 6, 7 months, she dies. First guy falls in love, and she's gone. I mean, when I say a powerhouse, she wasn't like some little kid. But from that emotional standpoint, this guy played his game with her, and he gives her AIDS, and she's gone. Like, literally, she's dead. So this is one of the reasons I asked the question, not just because of my own experience, but like, okay, you have mature women, you know, not just some young teenager or somebody just getting into the game of life or whatever, but very mature, but that emotional aspect, like some guys just have words on lock that can just unlock whatever hard door you believe you have, but they need that extra buffer that when it all boils down to it, they can really trust the words of, the words of Apostle or Mama Sheila, somebody that I can put my trust in to say, if they give you a check mark, I'll be okay. But like you said, to be honest with myself, but also to put the confidence in them that if they say no with all of the track record they have, forget my emotions, because I could be like this next lady. 6 months, my life can be flashing before me.
True. That's very powerful. And it is a warning to everyone. That's the reason everyone that is talking to you, they have to respond to someone else. They have to be accountable to someone, to a mentor, someone they respect. If you show me a man that has a mentor, that has someone they're accountable with, I'll show you a man that's going somewhere. Every man, you need that. You need that voice. I'm going to speak to the men now to explain this. I know it's almost time. We're going to let you go in a few minutes. See, as men, you have to make decisions. You have to make decisions for your family or for the woman you're with. You have to make decisions of a lifetime. Decision that's going to affect not just you, your woman, your wife, and your children. And some decision you make can affect your children for a lifetime. Can we truly rely on ego to make those decisions? And a lot of time, the woman is counting on you as a man to be the man to make the right decision. And to trust you with her life, with the life of your children, to make a decision that's not going to jeopardize not just her, but the children. Think about it. That's the reason, as men, you need some voice to speak to you. A man, someone that's stronger than you, that's wiser than you, not to tell you what to do, but to ask certain questions. I want to do this. I want to move there. You know, what do you think? And a wise person will reason with you. Say, what was the purpose of that? Why do you want to make this decision? Is it going to take a toll on the family? What's going to happen? And as you're talking it over, that's when you're going to realize what the decision can do to you or the family. If you truly value your family, your children, as a man, you have to have that voice, that person you can call, that you can ask questions, that you can sit with before you make certain decisions. That's one way to make sure you don't destroy not just your life, but the woman that trusts you and the children that didn't call you to tell you to bring them to this earth. Think about it. That's very big. It's a big position you have in your hand. So if you're going to play that role, make sure you don't just do it by yourself, that you have someone you can ask questions, you can talk to, that may understand certain things you don't understand, and to give you certain guidelines. Maybe you can hear the ins and outs, and that will help you to make your decision. See, the job of a spiritual father or a mentor not to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. I've never tell someone, go do this, go do that. We're going to reason together, and I'll give you my perspective, what I see, what I feel, what I understand, based on what you say. As a matter of fact, certain things you don't even have to voice it to me. I don't even need to know. Because some I can even tell by myself. But I don't need you to explain. And we will talk about it. And until you yourself, you can come with your own conclusion. Because it's your decision, it's your conclusion. And why? Because you have people, when you have people rely on you, people that trust you, that depends on you, it's a very big thing. So in my position as a pastor, I can understand that. To have a lot of people that depends on me, that trust my voice, and then for you to deceive them based on the decision you're making, that's bad, isn't it? It is bad as well in the standpoint of a husband or a father, for you to make a decision that's going to hurt people that trust you. So the man ego has to drop there if you truly want to make it. And as men as well, you're not going to go nowhere if you don't have that voice to speak to you. If you don't have that voice, that counsel to tell you this and that, this is how you should do this, this is how you should do that. And it's good for you. And I was in that position once. I didn't believe that I need a man to speak to me because I could hear God. That's what I thought. I could hear God. I got hurt before from church, just like many of you probably have, from the person that I trusted the most as a man of God that hurt me deeply. When I say deeply, deeply, I've never cried in my entire life. During that time, I cried more than my entire life in general. That's how hurt I was. I was broken like most people be, and imagine you walk to a church, you see my face in the hallway. You put my face there as this guy is the devil himself. And that church that started where? In my mom's living room. We started that church. So a lot of things happened. I was broken, I was hurt. But I was so broken that I could have even destroyed my own family. You understand? I shouldn't even go to church after that. I should have just stayed away from church after that. That's the mindset. But I didn't. But I made a decision not to trust another man or pastors to lead me, to tell me anything. And which was wrong. That was how I was going to destroy my life, by not trusting another voice. And later on, I realized no matter how much you can hear God, no matter how much Moses could hear God, he still need Aaron. He still need Aaron. So no matter how much you can hear God, you still need someone close to you to tell you things, to say certain things to you. Because sometimes the voice of God may not make sense to you, but somewhat makes sense to you. And you may not experience certain things, that person may experience them before you. So you have to listen to someone. And I pray that every man here listen to this. And it's good for yourself as well. If you truly want to achieve something, I want you to think about life. This is how you think about life if you want to think about life. Whatever age you are right now, double it. Double your age. That's disaster, isn't it? It's crazy, right? When you double your age, you realize how life is. When you double your age, no one want to think about that. But guess what? Whatever age you're at now, you see how fast you get to this age? It's gonna come again. So the decision you're making now forward counts. Whatever you're gonna do now matters. And some decision, to make a sound decision, you cannot make it on the inside. That's the reason every team need a coach on the outside to tell them what to do. Anyone who truly want to make a sound decision, you make it just by yourself, you'll deceive yourself. You need someone from the outside that can view your life, that can see better than you, and to tell you, what if you do this? What if you do that? What if you do this? And that can tell you certain things to do. And that's how you make sound decision. Especially decision that has to do with family. Always remember that. With family. Never by yourself. Never by yourself. Sister, one.
Okay, for those of us that been married before and have children,
Closer.
how do you know that this man is the right man for you?
Say that again.
For those of us that already have kids and
Uh-huh.
been married before, how do you know?
How do you know a man is for you?
Yes.
The man has to, just like we explained, it has to be a good friend, someone that fits into your life, not just fit, but that see you in your children. It's a package that man is getting. Now, there's a little trick to this one. When you have kids, you were married before, and a man is coming into your life, he's getting a package, but what is he getting in return? You have to think about that. What is the man get into returns when he's gonna spend on you? He has to feed your kids. That's not his kids. He has to, as a man. That is his job. That is his job as a man. Also, he just have to go to Burger King and buy you a burger, and then the kids can watch you eat, huh? No, wait. Let her talk. So when he go out and buy food, he buy one for you, one for him, and the kids can sit and watch you eat. Is that what you're saying? No, answer the question. Answer the question.
The biggest problem is because a lot of men, when they married or being with a woman that has kids, they think that, okay, you know what? The kids are my responsibility too.
The kids are his responsibility.
What? No.
Huh? If the man gonna be in the house, this kid has to be his responsibility. He can never replace the father of the kids, but guess who's responsible for the kids? He is responsible as long as he's in this house. He has to make decision for them. You understand? In this house, he make the decision for the family. But the problem is you have to understand that other part as well. If his job is to take care of you and your children, he has a whole baggage with him. So what does he get in return? Talk to me. Because that's where some people get it wrong. What does the man get in return after he's investing in you and your children? He's what? Peace, love, respect? No, it's not bad. I want you guys to understand it. That's why I'm making it sound bad. No, it's not that bad. Because some people get it wrong so many times. I want you guys to catch it. Say that again. He's going to want his own child too. You hear what he said? He's going to want his own child too. You have to be able to willing, if he wants his own child, to be willing to carry his child as well. That's one thing he get in return now. Some men probably go, say, that's enough for me. You understand? Everybody understand what I'm saying here, right? If the man gonna take care of your kids, just take care of your kids where he could have just looked for some type of young woman, single woman, but now he'll fall in love with you, and now he has to take care of you and your kids. There has to be something he feels like he's getting in return, where he feels like, for example, that not only he's helping you, he's there for you and your kids, but you're going to carry his children as well, or his kid as well. Because it's a problem because there's nothing in return. You don't show them the things they get in return. You have to show the man that you're not just getting a package of problems. There's benefits with this package. You can say you disagree, that's fine. It's fine to disagree with me.
I love Apostle, you guys, I really do, but I have to say that I disagree because what to me it sounds like, I love my daughter, y'all, I really do. You guys have met my daughter, she's absolutely amazing. And you get my daughter as a daughter, you have gained heaven. So to me it sounds like as if, you know, it's his own. This is the thing that gets me sometimes when people say as you know, as a single mother, my own child. If you agree to be with me and you knew ahead of time, this child did not just pop up, you know, after we started, you know, dating or talking. You knew this child was already there.
Okay.
She's 6 years old, like she's grown,
Yeah.
right? So you knew that she was there. So you agreed to pursue me. This is why I'm not going after you. Because you agree to pursue me, and now you make it sound like my own child. That sounds so violent when a man says that. What about my daughter? So now when we have a child together, no, the mindset. No, I'm going to argue that point.
All right, go ahead.
The mindset when he said this young man said, you know, I'm going to want my own child. Now, I don't want to be in a household with a man who's going to make my daughter feel excluded. My own child. The way we're you know, I'm starting to feel a little, you know, because my daughter is not. If you if you agree, sir, I love you and I respect you, no, but the way we're making it sound like my daughter is an issue or something. You agree to pursue me.
No, you're looking at it from a wrong perspective. That's not what he's saying.
Listen, you missed it.
Help me understand it, because I really do want
You missed it.
No, I want to understand. I want to
Really like the person, but the fact that you have kids,
Let me explain.
the fact that you have kids is an issue.
Huh?
No, you can really like someone, and the fact that you have kids, it become an issue, or it's because you have children. That's
Okay.
Yes.
Let me show you. Let me show you where I stand. Let me show you what I understand, and then you will see. And after that, I'll show you what I said. Anyone that's looking for a woman over 30 years old has to expect she has a child. Any man that's looking for a woman over 30 years old has to expect that. Most women around that age, they have a child, probably already been in a relationship already. You understand? That's a fact. That's a fact of life now. If the woman is around 30 years old, somehow she's going to have one or two kids by that age. So by saying this to show you that a man already understand that it's not going to be easy to find a woman without kids if he's going to go for that type of age. So that's someone that has to settle to understand, okay, if she has children, maybe that guy at his age as well may have kids as well. Because a woman, if you're looking for a man that's around 35, there's no man around 35 without kids no more. I mean, every rule has exception, maybe a few out there, but most men that pass 35 years old already have a child somewhere. You understand? Somewhere. So that's just facts, okay? Now, the man that's gonna take you, understand he's taking a package. If he's gonna love you, he's gonna have to love your kids as his own as well. But if he's taking a package deal to love you, to love your kids, then he has to feel that there's a reason why he has to, there's a reason, you have to give him more reason to do it. That the package, it's not a burden. The package is not a burden, not because that's your daughter. You understand? Everybody has daughter, has kids as well. Your daughter, not because she's your daughter, but your package is not a burden because of what you're bringing to the table as well. Not because of what you think in your mind. Because remember, just because someone said, I love you, doesn't mean they're going to be with you. They can be with you. There's so many people that's in love with each other, they can live together. Because love alone cannot stand in a relationship. There's so many ingredients that has to be in place for the love to stand. So the person that's going to take you and your daughter has to see you as an asset to him in the relationship. And we voiced it before in the scripture that God is giving men what? A helper that is suitable. So you and your kids has to be a helper that's suitable in the life of this man. He has to feel that, man, I was missing without these people or without this family, I would miss so much. That since Limon is in my life, since I have Limon in my life, I feel like I'm complete now because, there's so much I couldn't do. There's so much things going on. Now because of her and her children, this is where we are now. So you're going to say, you offer your love, I offer my love, I offer this, offer that. So that's all you're going to offer. You have to be an asset, a true helper, and to make this person feel that they are incapable of moving forward without you. You have to be that other leg that stands for this man. That's how it works. And that's facts. It doesn't work any other way. I think there was another question somewhere. Alex?
Yes, hello. So you mentioned earlier about men, you said it's important to have principles. Instead of just having random principles, what are examples of good principles to have?
Good principles, that's a very good question. A man has to understand. You see, once it's morning, I'm awake, I'm awake. I will not, even if I'm going to nap, I'm not going to nap on my bed. Ask my wife, I don't go back to my room during daytime. I will not. I would have fall asleep in a chair. Then go to a bed and fall asleep on my bed. Because according to my principle, if I'm awake, I need to be busy doing something. I'm not going to go in a room and lay on a bed and to fall asleep. So there are principles you have to create for yourself that has to do with your future and that has to intel whoever is going to be into your life to tell yourself, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to live my life. And some people, they have principle at a certain times, even if at a certain time they want to be home. By 10 o'clock, if they're not doing nothing, they're not going nowhere, they're going to be home. That's the principle they have. And you can call them, tell them to do this, they're not going to go out. That's principle. And your principle, you have to keep your principle. There are men that give themselves principle. If it's Sunday, they're going to be in church. No matter what happened, they're going to be in church, and that's the principle. And there are other men, they feel like if they have a family and they have to make sure they eat on the table and they start that principle by themselves at home. While they live by themselves, they eat on the table and they feel like when they have a family as well, we're going to sit on the table and eat. These are principle. Principle plays with your mind. It makes you feel that you have to live life a certain way. Anyone that lives life outside of limit is limited. I know I said something upside down. Anyone that lives life outside of limits, you're truly limited. But if you live life within certain limits, you're free. Anyone that live life outside of limits, you don't put limits into your life, you're gonna be bound in this life. You're gonna be truly limited. But if you put limits into your life, you put principles into your life, then you're gonna become someone that's free in this life. Show me someone that's going somewhere in this life. I'll show you someone that have true limits. Someone that puts strong limits, strong boundaries into themselves. And they limited themselves now in order to be free tomorrow. But if you're free now, you're going to be limited for the rest of your life. You can do whatever you want in this life now. But guess what? You're only creating limit for yourself in tomorrow. But you put limit into yourself now, it's going to create freedom tomorrow. Yes?
There's two.
I'll take 2 more questions and that's it.
There's 2 Facebook questions. One is from Sister Ann. Why is it not okay for a man to tell a woman that he doesn't want her more than twice?
Can you say that again?
Why is it not okay for a man to tell a woman that he doesn't want her more than twice?
Oh, I think I found a question I cannot answer.
Or maybe she's saying why is it okay? Maybe the nod is by mistake. Why is
I
it
think
okay?
I'm as confused as you. Can they rephrase it? You're going to translate?
Yeah, there's a question or a saying that says, don't let a man tell you that he doesn't want you more than twice.
Oh. That's what she's trying. Okay. So sometimes reading is confusing, isn't it? Can someone help? I'm still confused. Can you just answer it? I don't know.
It's me, Dominique, answering. But you should not let a man tell you he don't want you more than twice because you're not once. Yeah, girl, because you're degrading yourself. Once is too much. You don't even have to say, I don't want, just say, I don't, oh, that's it. Don't let him even finish the sentence. Leave. You are compromising your self-respect, and if you make him say it to you another time, girl, it's in the trash, and that relationship is going one way. Your self-esteem is going the next way with it. It's over with and it's down. So do not let a man tell you don't even let the sentence be completed. Respect yourself and leave.
There's what we call line that can never be crossed in relationship. Invisible line. You don't ever cross those lines. There are things you don't ever say if you don't mean it. Those lines, you never cross them. Like that's one of the lines. You cannot tell somebody something like that if you don't mean it. You never cross those lines, no matter how deep is the battle you're fighting with your spouse, but there are lines you never, ever cross. There are limits to everything. I think you had a question, right? After that, I'll take you.
Last question for me. I have so much, but give other people a chance. Okay, for the relationship between 2 powerful brother and sister that is doing courtship, is it wise to go to the man's house unsupervised?
To go inside of his house?
Yes. That's for the people that are courting.
I mean,
and they are powerful in the working in the church. Is it wise for the individual to visit a man's home?
I'm going to answer it this way. Let's deal with 2 generations. I'm going to deal with 2 generations here. You see, within her generation, that's something that could never, ever happen. would never happen. You're dating a woman and then you go to her house. Now, this is the difference with this generation. We do it every day. But yet we still fall in traps. Most of people that do it, they still fall in all type of traps. But they make it seem like, it's a new generation, it's a new things. It's okay, I just go in there and stuff like that. And as long as I'm not tempted, I don't do things. But guess what? You're still tempted, and there are certain sensations you bring to your body that you were not going to have at all if you ain't go there. Am I right? So by putting yourself in that position, it's not an old and new generation thing. It's just a principle of you being careful that this one is not yours yet, this one is not yours yet. Why? Going in the house, in the bedroom, just the two of us there. It has nothing to do with the old or new generation. We're new, there's a new kids now, we're young people, we do things differently. It has nothing to do with that. It has just have to do with behaving and being very careful, especially as children of God. And that's the reason you will see certain people, most people in the old generation, they'll tell you that they dated for 2 years, 3 years, and they never had sex until they get married. But it's hard now. If we ask most young people before they married, if they had sex, and everybody would like, every hand is down right now.
Amen, Pastor.
You understand? And some people will tell you, please don't judge. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Why? And what happened is simple. There are certain principles we just never follow, and that's all. You understand? We just never follow, and that put us in position, in position where sensations come, and guess what? The flesh is weak. The flesh is weak. There's two things. If you see the devil right now, you can run after him. He'll run away from you. But guess what? If you see sin, you need to run for your life. Because the flesh is weak, it's attracted. There are temptation when you see it. You don't catch it. I catch your temptation. No. You run for your life. So there's a position you put yourself, believe it or not. I don't care who you are, you'll fall. Am I right? So it looks like I'm talking to angels. Some of you act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
You place yourself in that position, you will fall. So as godly people, children of God, and if you're talking to someone is dating you, the best way to meet with that person, go out. No one tell you not to get to know the person. There's so many things you can do now. You can go out to restaurants, you can go to the park, you can walk. There's so many things. Bring them to church. That's one way, one place to bring them to church. Like today, like you take someone and say, it's Valentine's Day, let's go out to Valentine's. And then you bring them here.
Exactly. They want to be in the restaurant.
That's it. So that's the way it's supposed to be. And last questions? She's saying something powerful.
Thank you. What I call mama boy syndrome, where the mother-in-law have total control and the husband act like a puppet around her. I have filed divorces for people just because the husband respect the mother more than they respect their wife and allow the mother-in-law to disrespect the wife. What will your advice be for both of them? The husband, the puppet, and and
See,
the wife.
the husband didn't just get like that. He was already a boy. That's the reason you have to be careful with boy. Because scripture clear, the boy stay with his mother. It's a man that leave his mother and father. You cannot tell the boy to leave his mother and father. The boy has to stay with his mother and father until he grow up, until he become a man. It's a man that leave his mother and father. So how do you know someone is a man? And we give the criteria. It has to work. It has to work. The man has to have responsibility. He has to be accountable. We give all of them earlier. So the man has to have plans that includes you. And when he have all these things, the man, I didn't say boy. And that man, that person is a man. But if the person doesn't have those things, it might be a boy. It might be a boy. You have to be careful with little boys. Little boys with beard. Okay.
Okay, I understand that if we are in church, we are not supposed to have sex. No, we are not supposed to have sex before marriage. But if you're dating somebody and we get married and after that the sex is whack, how do you deal with that situation?
That's a good question.
How about, the person doesn't want to do certain things?
Listen, if the person loves you very much, they can learn. They can actually learn and improve in it. And both people can learn from one another, and they can improve in this area and to get better at it. And, just because, okay, let's say, for example, God told these two people to be together, and they went and have sex, and they realized that sex is whack, and they just say, hey, that's not my type. So even if God say they match, these people are matched together, doesn't mean sex is gonna be perfect together. Everything's gonna be perfect together.
No, sex is never. It's not gonna be perfect all the time. We know that. But what if you never see it? And then when you see it, you'll be like, oh, what am I gonna do with that? It's just, no, things like that happen, like for real. Let's say the people are trying to save themselves for marriage, and then when you see it, you'll be like, what is this? What? And plus, you don't know how to use it.
I understand the question.
How do you teach someone that?
That's a powerful question.
Because that happened to some people.
Yeah.
I was married before. I'm used to certain things. And then you go to somebody else and then
there's nothing.
And you'll be like, whoa. It happens.
No,
you
she's
cannot
right.
teach
She's right.
somebody how to use something they don't have,
But if you didn't have sex before marriage, when you are married, whatever you're experiencing is going to be pure, is going to be good for you. It's when you've had past experiences, now you're going to compare that to your marriage. And so that's why one of the things that God says is don't have sex before marriage, that right there will avoid that issue.
But Prophetess Flora, it already happened though. So we're living in a perfect world in what you just said. We're living in such a perfect world where it didn't happen. But to some of us, we've had a life, we've had a past, And now we are, this is not around sex and everything.
You expose.
We're not in a perfect world. We're in reality.
You expose.
We're in reality. And that's okay. We're not in a perfect world. We're in reality. And, most of us have been married. We have children. We're, like you said, used to different things. And then we meet someone. And like she said, this is the fear of a lot of people. We don't want to talk about it, and that's okay. But this is the fear of a lot of people. And this is why a lot of people are going and having sex before marriage, because they don't want to meet someone and wait and then for it to just not be where it's supposed to be.
The answer is right there.
Papa,
the answer is right.
Question. Oh, not a question.
The answer is right with you. You're not seeing it.
You've been exposed. May I say something?
The answer is right with them. You're not seeing it.
Because sex is major in a relationship, just like finance.
It's 10%.
Sex is needed. It has to.
Sex is 10% of it, but
No. It's major.
Okay.
If you are not satisfied, listen, you're gonna walk around the house mad. It's major.
That's that medication,
Just
huh?
like finance and everything. You need your husband. You need.
Okay.
There's some stuff you need.
You want to talk first before I answer? Let us say something before I answer.
Okay, Apostle. Actually, I wanted to ask you a question.
No, I want to finish with this. I thought you were talking about that.
No, it's about that as well.
Not another question. I don't want
Relate
to add
that.
questions on questions. Huh?
But it relates to that.
Maybe after. Let's finish with this one. All right. The answer is so simple. Whenever, you know why Eve saw herself naked, or Adam, they saw themselves naked? They saw themselves naked because of what they did. They ate the fruit, what they were not supposed to do. Anytime you do something you were not supposed to do, your eyes open to something more. There are people, they live a powerful life, a happy life, with what she's talking about. And because they never know that other side, they never know what's on the other side, and then they live in a powerful life, and then probably talking about the husband. Oh, my husband is powerful. Because that's all they know. The eyes never open to anything more than that. Now, you're going to say, okay, so that's a different story for me. Your eyes open to it. This is why when choices are supposed to be made, it has to be God. God making choice for mankind. Because God knows those things can come. He knows those things can come so well that he wants to make choice for us. Because he knows the day that you make choice for yourself, what can happen. Now, you made a first choice, it was wrong. Now, because of that, your eyes open to so many levels that is not supposed to be open. God is not responsible for your eyes that's open to that level. So now, let's say God give you what's yours, and what yours was supposed to be the guy with nothing. Do you know you're responsible? You're responsible for it. Because it's your mistake that bring you to this stage of life. It's your mistake that bring you there. Because your mistake, we cannot repair mistake by creating more mistakes. We repair mistake by accepting consequences of our actions. Make it work. By accepting consequences, because it is not God's mistake. Because if you had the right one the first time, you would never notice anything that other people. As a matter of fact, when other people are talking, you'll be talking as well. So, oh, my husband too. When other girls are speaking about the husband, they say, oh my God, my husband is oh, my husband too. And you'll be talking, you don't even know what they're talking about. Because that's all you know. That's all you can talk about. You cannot talk about something you don't know.
Right.
You understand? So whenever you allow your eyes to open to another level, and that's what happened. And it's a spiritual law. You're responsible for everything you know. Believe it or not. Everything you hear, whether it's on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, you're responsible for it. Yeah. That's the reason some people, the minds are going crazy. You're responsible for the curse word you hear. You're responsible for the bad song you hear. You're responsible for all of it. Your mind is going crazy. Don't blame God. You're responsible. Because you hear things you're not supposed to hear. So you're the guardian of this mind. Watch it carefully. There are things, when you feel like certain things going to say you're not supposed to hear, you're not supposed to listen to it. You're not supposed to watch it. Because you're going to be responsible for what you see, what you hear, and what you experience. Every one of us.
It's a challenge. I say it's a challenge, but
it is. It is. And it's a principle of God. You're responsible for everything that you do without God's consent. Because you choose to go and eat that fruit, forbidden fruit. Yeah, it is a forbidden fruit. Because that wasn't your size. Now, you make it become your size by yourself.
Yeah,
so you're responsible now.
She's clear now. Like Adam and Eve, now she's clear now.
Yeah, she's that's how it works.
Okay, I've been wanting to ask you and Mom, but
you cannot win it all. Remember that.
But I was a little bit uncomfortable. But since we are being transparent, I am. A few months ago, a gentleman walked into my office. He did not even ask me out. My spirit said he will ask you out, but he cannot perform. And behold, he asked me out. And through conversation, his wife cheated
Put
on
the
him.
mic closer so somebody want to hear what you're saying.
Okay. A few months ago, a gentleman walked into my office. He did not even ask me out, but my spirit said he's gonna ask you out and he cannot perform and you will not be happy. And I'm like, they didn't even ask me out. So first I felt that probably I was thinking about things that I shouldn't be thinking about, but he did ask me out. And I found out he cannot perform because his wife actually cheated on him and he has diabetes and he can't last or whatever. What happened? So, in my mind, even if he did ask me out, I wouldn't have dated him because he cannot perform.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. What if the will of God for you excludes sex? Huh? Okay, wait. No, Paul is Paul. We're talking about you guys here. You're not Paul. Let me ask the question to everyone. I want you to lift your hands. What if the will of God excludes sex in it? Would you still follow it? Lift your hands.
Yes.
Don't lie to yourself.
I'm not lying. If I'm already
I'm watching hands. Come on, lift your hands. I want to see hands. What about what they win? Hey, Pastor Miller, where are you going? Pastor Miller is leaving. Pastor Miller, where are you going? So I don't see my wife leave her hands. I don't know.
It's not to say you guys, you don't got something going on.
Yeah.
I got it going on.
Not everyone would be able to accept the will of God like that. Guess what? It'll be hard. Even some of us that say would accept it probably would not. We would try, and then later on we realize we cannot. You know, it's a hard thing, but if it is the will of God for you, you have to fight to accept it that way.
If it
You
was the
understand?
will of God, will I have seen that before the guy even talked to me?
Say that again?
If it was the will of God,
Uh-huh.
but it seemed like it was revealed to me before the guy even talked to me.
Yeah, but if it was the will of God for you to be with him, what would you do?
God would have given me a different message before the guy
Yeah.
spoke to me.
Listen. Okay, let's put this into conclusion with this verse. 1 Corinthians 10:13. God would not give you something you cannot bear. If He give it to you, it means He knows you can take care of it.
So my sister hold it.
So even within the temptation, He'll create a way for you to get out of it. So He will not give you something you cannot carry.
Yes.
So if God give you that man like this, He knows you're gonna be able to carry it. Let's put it into conclusion that way. All right. I think we touched everything. So thank you guys for the time. Thank you for the opportunity. I was trying to finish at 10, but it's 11 now almost. So I pray that you guys enjoy this time and together. You know who should be clapping louder? The guys. Because do you know why? You can have more of this? Yeah, it'll be good. You know why the guys should clap more? Because you have to take the woman out to eat or anywhere else, so there's no spending here, so that's good. No spending. Less spending, right, guys? All right, we're gonna close with prayer. Let us close with prayer. Let us close with prayer. Father, we thank you for the opportunity given unto us, Lord, that we could be here together, Father, to teach things that matters, Lord, that can help us in this life. And we know, Father, you're the center of everything, Father, because you're the author of marriage. And we pray, Lord God, you help every one of us to digest everything we learn here, and that, Father, we will meditate on them, and you will help us, Father, to know what to do and to do the right thing. And the right thing, Father, is to have you within us. And with you, everything is possible. We bless your name for this time, Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, thank you, everybody, for the time. And hopefully we can do this again soon.